You asked me a question earlier about the hardest part about prison.
Yeah.
And the hardest part I found about prison is when your family comes to visit you and then they walk out that door and you're left behind. And you can see it hurts them just as much. The sadness in their eyes when that visit's over and they gotta leave and they leave you behind.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part, you know. And phone calls, I mean, there's fights every day over the phones in there, you know. And most of the phone calls in there, I mean, someone's cussing out their girlfriend because she didn't send them the money, or, you know, or she wasn't answering the phone last night when they called, or, you know, some crap like that, you know. Yeah. That was the toughest part for me, when the family would come to visit and leave. You know, this last time I was supposed to be in till August 16th of 2027. That was my out date, and I won my post-conviction relief and got released early. But my dad's 84, my mom's 80, and I didn't know if they'd be around when I got out. You know, that was always in the back of my mind. This last time I went in, is are mom and dad going to be alive? I won't be able to go to their funeral if I'm in prison. You know, they don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So.
I know when I got out of jail, I had to think about, like, when I had 0 felonies, right? And so I always thought my get out of jail free card was going to be, I was going to get busted with a little bit, and then it was going to be a slap on the wrist, and then I'd have to come clean to everybody, my parents and everybody, that I'm a meth addict. And then I would go into treatment, and I would get clean, and I would live happily ever after. You know, that was my plan. But with the wife getting sick and passing away, and then I went on a fucking tear, you know. And then when I got busted, I'm saying this now because if it wouldn't have been any other way, because I got busted with so much. 93 grams, it ain't that much, but it's enough. And I got busted with that, and the fact that it was in the papers and all over the news, that it gave me, there was no way that I could talk my way out of it. And what I mean by that is, if I would have got busted with a little bit, I would have went to court, and I would have lied and said, "Oh, I'm going to treatment because of alcohol," you know. I go, like, why are you going to treatment? Because it wouldn't have been in the papers, it wouldn't have been, you know, and I would have just said, "Oh, I'm here for alcohol." Well, then my parents and everybody would be looking for telltale signs of me using alcohol, which I didn't use alcohol. So that would bring me right back to doing meth. You know what I'm saying? So that. And they got, you know, it wouldn't have worked any other way for me to get busted like that, and for me to find, you know, I had to say, man, I got too much. My wife passed away, my kids are fucking hurting and shit, and any other way I would have been using again. I feel that in my gut, you know. And so I'm glad. I'm so glad that I got busted. It's crazy.
All the years I've done drugs and sold drugs and stuff like that.
And see, bear in mind that
it was stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to worry about someone ratting me out. I had to worry about someone stealing it from me. I had to worry about driving down the road if I'm going to make the wrong turn, or someone's going to run into me, or.
But you started using when you were 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I had been selling and smoking weed since high school, and you know, I went through the 80s and with the mushrooms. We were doing mushrooms in high school, LSD. I was selling cocaine and selling, you know, weed and all that shit. You know, same with JP and Johnny. They were all selling coke back in the day. But yeah, you started at 35, and I started using meth at 35. But Yeah. Yeah, no, it seems like a lifetime though, don't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done dope for over 2 years now, but I mean,
Good.
life is so
Good
much.
job, man.
It's so much easier,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, just gave my mom and dad some money to go to Arizona on vacation, and I wrote them another $8,000 check to just get the money out of my account and put it in a safe someplace,
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
Do you still have feelings like you might end up in prison again just by accident, or someone doing you dirty, or something going wrong, or you get that little bit of uneasiness?
no,
No, you're feeling good.
no. I mean, some girl texts me today. She wants to go in the truck with me, but she's one that's had me thrown in jail twice on lies,
Yeah.
and I don't need that kind of stuff in my life anymore. So the answer for her is no.
Yeah.
No. I don't need that stuff in my life. I don't need drama. I don't need,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I just need my dog right here.
Yeah.
He's okay.
So
You know?
I got a good relationship with my parents. Good relationship with two of my sisters, my brother. That's more important to me than any drugs or any old using friends.
Yeah, when I got busted, and when I started, my dad was just getting retired, and then I did it for 20 years. And when I got clean, I told you the story before, but when I got clean, he was too old. He was in his 80s, and he couldn't go fishing anymore. I gave him the bum's rush for 20 years. I didn't ignore him, but I swooshed him out of my shop when he came in, just like you did with your parents. But then so I got clean, and I spent five years with him, before he passed away a year and a half ago. But he was extremely proud, and I still carried around that guilt though. I still had guilt, But when he passed away, I told my siblings, I said, I'm giving the eulogy, I'm writing it, and there ain't no way you can talk me out of it. And I gave the eulogy, and I gave relief to the family and to all his friends that were still alive, with a good eulogy that they all really enjoyed. And from as soon as I gave it, the guilt was gone. And that after being 5 years clean at that time, it's like that's when it really hit me that fucking this is the life, man. This clean life is the way to go. And everybody was coming up to me and congratulating me on such a good eulogy and all this stuff, and it's the best feeling I ever had, And it's like, but what makes us the guys we are today is because we went through all that,
Right.
And I truly believe that. I mean, there's,
Well, Joe, after I ended up in jail and prison, the only people that were ever there for me whenever I ended up in trouble were my parents, my sisters. Nobody else ever came around. I mean, if they owed you money or anything like that, they forgot about it. You're the only person they ever offered to pay their old debt.
the $50.
The $50. Nobody else ever came around.
You forgot about it.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
The only thing they want to do is once you end up in trouble, they want to steal from you,
Yeah.
rob everything you have.
How many times have people said, if you ever get caught, don't worry about it, I'll put money on your books?
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one person that ever put money in my books that wasn't related to me. Well, I never asked my family to put money in my books either.
Have you ever put money on anybody's books?
Yep.
So have I. I'd say about $600 if you add it all up. It ain't much, but
This one girl that I sold a car to back after I got out of prison the first time, and I was teaching her about K-bid, and she bought a car on my account, and then told me about it afterwards because I showed her how to use K-bid, and then she was looking at cars and she bid on a car and I ended up with it, you know. Well, then I took the car and did a couple repairs to it, and then told her she owed me for the car. Gave it to her, and she smashed it up. Well, this last time I was in prison, she started paying that. And I was surprised because it was maybe $50 in my account. I'm going like, what? What? You know, another 50 and another 50, you know. And then I finally called her from prison, and she says, yeah. She goes, I owe you that money. She goes, for that car, you know.
You remember Tweaker Lee, right?
Yeah.
I put him up in my garage. He lived in my garage for about 8 months through the winter, and we'd get in my truck and we'd go and we would gather up pallets to burn in my wood stove to keep him warm at night, all winter. And it was cold that whole winter, you know. And the next spring we went for a bike ride. The cops pulled us over. He had a warrant out that he had been running for 5 years on some stupid fifth degree, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes to jail, and you know, we weren't rich at that time, and my wife Lisa liked him. You know, he was a nice guy, and I said it costs $500 to bail him out. Can we bail him out? And she's like, yeah, all right. So I went there and I visited him, and I said, hey, we're gonna bail you out, you know. And he said, awesome, you know. So I put up the $500, bail bondsman, got him out. We went home. My wife made a cake for him and everything, right? 2 days later, he's gone with the fucking guard, with Kurt. Never seen him again. Them two were sneaking around town. Never seen him. Never got paid back. Never nothing, you know. And yeah, fucking. At that time, it kind of surprised me, but after a while, that shit didn't surprise me at all. But I never bailed anybody out again, you know.
I bailed a few people out. But the only reason I bail them out is because you don't know if they're going to tell on you.
Yeah, there's that too.
You know? Bail them out, and then they'd be out in South Dakota when you bail them out, so they have to buy a car and send them money for a car so they can get back here with it. And
yeah, and then say, oh no, don't worry, I'm never going to tell on you. But then they leave, and then they ripped you off instead.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, it was...
Yeah, Robin Bardish and I had a good relationship there for a while. I mean, she took a lot of my money for bail for other people, you know.
Yeah. Yep. But now, then you went to prison again.
Yeah.
And your mom and dad were there for you. They came and visited you.
Nope. Never came to visit me this time.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Okay. Why? They're just too old and didn't...
Well, I kind of told them not to. I mean, I got put in Faribault prison.
Did you kind of give up? Oh, no, you didn't give up.
First I went to Oak Park Heights.
Okay.
To prison there, and then it's such a hassle to get prison because I was in hospital work. They took me right from the hospital and put me in there. And I went to Faribault, and that's, good 4-hour drive from where my parents live, and I told them, just don't bother, you know. And after the COVID, the visitation was so much different. You had to make an appointment 2 weeks in advance and stuff like that. It wasn't worth it. I just told them, the lawyer told me I'm coming home, so don't even bother, you know.
Yeah.
And they didn't believe me. They didn't believe I was going to get out, you know. Then I got transferred to Moose Lake. They came to visit me one time in Moose Lake. They came to visit me one time in Moose Lake, and I told them, I says, I'm coming home. You know?
What all changed in the jail system during COVID?
They have what they call roving lockdowns now because they got such short-staffed, and if there's anybody that catches COVID in there, then they lock the whole prison down. You know, test everybody, and then lock the whole prison down, so you're all in your own cells for the next 14 days or whatever, you know.
And it was short staffed because of that guy getting killed in Stillwater. Or
Well,
Hastings,
it's short staffed before that because of COVID and nobody wanted to work there, you know. But I mean, as far as a guy getting killed in Stillwater, that doesn't really
Okay.
affect it. I mean, it's people don't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Ever.
so
Yeah.
I mean, the prison population went way down during COVID because they were putting people back on the street. You know, putting them in treatment programs and stuff like that, putting them out on ISR, stuff like that.
And it was all basically kind of a quarantine because they didn't want
Right.
the COVID getting in.
Well, they get COVID in there, you know.
Yeah.
When I was in this last time, they had COVID a couple different times in St. Cloud, and they had it, I think, once in Faribault. And in Moose Lake, I didn't go to Moose Lake when I left St. Cloud because they had COVID up there. They'd shut the prison down. They couldn't bring nobody in. You know?
Did they have different programs in prison for you? Like, for like AA and NA and all that stuff?
They got that.
They got that?
Yeah, but
So, what about all the drugs that were in the prison? I know you touched on that once. What is that all about?
well, there's a lot of fentanyl, some meth,
A lot of fentanyl zombies.
yeah, and get that, what do they call it, spice.
Ugh.
I mean, that was. You see them guys running around on that crap. I mean, they lock up, standing in the corner, looking in the corner, you know, and falling down in the hallway, you know, just. And one day, I think they had like
bath crystals and
12
shit.
or 15 people from Moose Lake that ended up in the ER from that crap, you know,
From the spice.
from the spice,
Oh, God. Yeah.
you know. And then they drug test them. They don't show up on a drug test, you know. So they didn't know what they were on. They just knew they were on something. So they locked the whole prison down, shake the whole prison down, you know, because of it, you know. And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they take your shit and they tear it all apart, your bed apart, a few things you got in your locker, they take that all out, you know, mess everything up, go through your paperwork. I mean, get used to it because there's nothing you can do about it, you know. You hate it when they do it. I mean, you haven't got much there, but they, you know, strip search you when they want. All kinds of fun.
Yeah. And what do you got to say to the people who don't have a felony yet?
Keep your gun rights, buddy.
Yeah.
You know.
And don't
Think
fuck
twice
up.
before you do this because it's not worth it.
Yeah, I was totally naive when then you set me straight on my I'm getting rid of my gun. You know, when I got busted, I lost my gun rights. Took me a long time to get it back, but I would have just been getting out of jail, man. I would just getting out of prison if you wouldn't have told me that. I'll say thanks to you a million times.
There's
But
a couple guys sitting right now doing 5 years because they lost their gun rights and they got caught with a gun.
yeah,
You know, there's a couple of them sitting right down out in Faribault. You know,
yeah, man. I don't think the laws are going to get any easier on guns.
no, I mean the stuff coming in with these ghost guns and stuff like that. I mean,
And the non-lethals and
there's going to be you see a lot of stuff going on here. I'm afraid, you know.
yeah, yeah. And so when you got out this last time in October, right?
Yeah. I was supposed to get out in July, but they held me in county jail for 2 months before they decided to let me go, and they were going to try to charge me again.
Did you like county better than
No.
prison? You didn't like county. What county jail were you in?
Douglas County. When you got your own private shower in your room and everything. I mean, every room's got a shower there.
In Douglas.
In Douglas County.
Well, so you did like it better.
Well, no. I mean, I worked in the kitchen there and had my own private shower, but you don't get to go outside.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean,
Got the day rooms and that shit.
your day room, but now everything's by tier. You know, you get to come out a couple hours in the morning, then you gotta go back in, and then the next tier comes out for a couple hours, and you do the same thing in the afternoon.
So if you want, you can watch them from your door.
watching from your door, you know, otherwise you're stuck in your room reading a book, you know. Prison, you got your own TV, you know, your own room, your own TV and stuff like that. In the county jail, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, county jail, you get paid for working. Well, I had a job in the county jail too, you know, they gave me $20 a week for.
And the canteen is more expensive in the county.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking twice or 3 times as expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking sucks.
It ain't cheap in prison either, though.
Yeah.
I mean.
Noodles are cheap.
No,
No.
they're what, 42 cents now in prison. There's ramen noodles, but who eats that? I mean.
Yeah, I know. Nasty. All the recipes they have.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Last time I was in, I worked in the kitchen. I was a cook, you know, and I got the certificate, you know, so I'm certified to serve food and cook food and stuff like that. So they bumped me up to $1.25 an hour, and when I was cooking, I got to in Faribault you couldn't make any extras, but in Moose Lake they gave you free reign. I mean, I could make omelets, stuffed I mean, anything I wanted to make, I could make for extras for the kitchen staff and the kitchen workers.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was hard to keep the weight off there because I mean we were eating pretty good.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of prison, I mean, they got crap. I mean, it's just garbage. Beans, rice.
So then you got out. And after you went to the ISR,
Yeah, first time I was on ISR.
And
This
then-
time I got out, I wasn't on ISR. In fact, I got no probation, no
oh,
papers,
you were
no
just
nothing.
yeah, because it was their mistake.
Yeah.
And then so you and Tammy were
The
running
first
wild or what?
the first time, no, I haven't seen Tammy in years.
Oh yeah, I'm getting them confused. Okay. Yeah. So what'd you think when you got out in October? What was the first thing you did?
First thing I did was went right up to Otter County and asked them about my health insurance. You know, because I had met surgery before I went in. You know, my back fusion, and I got a small hernia and fluid where that incision was. So I got to get that taken care of. In fact, I just scheduled an appointment yesterday to get it all done.
Nice.
I went on the 16th of August, or the 16th of February here and get it taken care of.
And you're hoping that this will take care of it, and then you can actually start working on stuff again, like cars and stuff, maybe a little
No,
bit.
I'm never going to do that
You're
again.
never going to do that ever again.
Not with my back the way it is. In fact, I've hung up my wrenches, I think, permanently.
Yeah.
I'm looking at buying a new vehicle so I don't have to fix my own anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to buy a new truck and make sure it's under warranty and let somebody else fix it if something happens to it, you know?
Yeah. That's going to be
So-
your gift.
I'm going to, my tools, I'll probably just save them and give them to my grandkids, you know? I got one that wants to run a body shop and another one that's in the
You have
the
kids?
military. My grandsons. My oldest grandson's 20 years old. He lives in Japan right now. He's in the military. He's in the Marines.
So that means you have a kid.
Yeah, I got a daughter. She's 41.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh. Awesome, dude.
yeah. That's a stress. I mean, that's relationships stressed. You know,
Yeah, I'm sure.
me going to prison all the time and stuff like that. She, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. But me and you are gonna go on a crusade and try and help other people, right?
yeah. Yeah, I'm all about helping somebody else, you know,
Yeah.
get away from that stuff.
We're gonna hopefully maybe do a podcast, possibly,
Yeah.
and it'll be fun. It'll be yeah, nobody gets to hear success stories too often, so. And we need to inspire some people to get clean and to stay clean, or either that or get the fuck out of here.